What's good, everybody? Salty here. The Salty Vendetta Discord server is now running, link in the description. I think I'm starting to get the hots for some of these I Don't Work Here ladies. Let's go inside and grab our shopping cart, folks. Here we go. Lady realizes I don't work there after a half hour of being rude to me. This is my first time on Reddit, and I have an I Don't Work Here story to share that happened to me last summer. Hopefully I'm doing this right and not breaking any rules. I was just browsing around the dollar store, wearing a red hoodie and black jeans. The employees wear all black and green aprons. I accidentally knocked over some items on a cluttered shelf, and so I put them all back neatly. A few minutes later, I noticed an older lady intensely glaring at me. She glared for a while before coming up to me. Lady, I need help finding the plastic forks. They aren't in the kitchen section. Oh, they should be at the end of the last aisle, near all the party supplies. Lady huffs and walks off to the party aisle. A moment later, she comes back and asks where to find another item, so I tell her. She keeps coming back and asking me where to find each item she was looking for. It's starting to annoy me, but I'm not really good at saying no to people unless they go too far. She is starting to get more and more pissed off each time she comes back. I was texting my husband when she comes up to me again with a loud ahem and taps on my shoulder to get my attention. Lady, I don't understand why you can't just come with me and actually show me where the things are instead of messing around on your phone. You are wasting my time making me go look by myself. Me, shocked. I'm sorry, I was just trying to help. Lady, well, you're doing a real terrible job of it. Your generation is so rude and lazy, I can't even believe it. Storms off. I was standing there kind of shocked at how rude she was after I told her where to find all the stuff she wanted for the past 20 minutes, but just brushed it off assuming she wouldn't bother me anymore. I was wrong. After about 5 minutes, she came stomping up to me and shoved a basket full of stuff at me. Lady, I don't want this stuff. Put it back for me. No, you can put it back if you don't want it. She went red as a tomato and looked absolutely furious. She was so mad that she was shaking.
Excuse me? What do you mean no? How dare you even talk to me like that, you stupid lazy little brat? The whole time you have been playing with your phone and giving me the worst customer service I ever had. I'm having you fired. I want the number for head office and I want to see your manager. I'm sick of dealing with the entitled kids who are too lazy to do their jobs and think they are more important than paying customers. You don't deserve to have a job. I hope no one hires you ever again after I get you fired.
An employee had shown up after hearing this lady yelling at me and just kind of stands there in shock for a moment until she stops her tirade. Me, ma'am, I don't work here. This whole time I was just trying to be nice by helping you. Lady,
yeah, right. Then why were you stocking the shelves earlier?
She trailed off as she looked at the employee in her green apron with the store logo and name tag, and back to me wearing casual clothes, and she finally realized her mistake. I have never seen anyone look so embarrassed before. She turned white as a sheet, dropped her basket, and walked as fast as she could without running out of the store, got in her car, and drove away. The employee apologized to me, but I told her not to worry about it. I bought my stuff and walked home. Maybe not one of the craziest stories on here, but one that makes me laugh when I think back on it. She was so embarrassed, she dropped the basket and just scooted. They always get you stocking the shelves, man. That's always the claim. If you ever drop something, knock something over in the grocery store, just don't pick it up. You won't get accused of working there. It's that simple. That's always the claim, isn't it? I knocked something over on the shelf and I was just cleaning it up. And here comes I don't work here, lady. Lady at Walmart gets angry that I don't work there. I created a Reddit just to share the story from my own life after hearing so many other similar stories online. So I work at a PetSmart, and on my way home from work one night back in December, I stopped at the nearby Walmart to grab a power strip and a few basic groceries. After I found the power strip I was looking for, I was walking back across the store to grab milk. As I was passing the office supplies section, I hear a woman asking about where things are. I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not entirely sure what she wanted. I assumed she was talking to the employee behind me, so I kept walking. As I reached the grocery section, I opened the refrigerator door to grab milk. I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was the woman from the office supplies. Her face was bright red and she looked like she was about to explode. I backed up, nearly falling into the shelf of milk. She started yelling at me.
How dare you ignore me? I'm a paying customer.
I stared at her blankly for a few seconds, taken back, and then replied, I don't work here? And she took a step toward me, face contorted with rage. Mind you, I'm a 20-year-old woman under 5 feet tall, so she is now towering over me. I was terrified. She roared,
Don't you dare lie to a paying customer! Where are your manners? I asked you where I could find
some extremely specific item,
and you just walked away.
I'm going to report you. You're going to get fired. Fired! Fired! I demand that you serve me.
I was now completely dumbstruck. I struggled out, but I don't work. And she screeched,
I can see your uniform. You can't pretend with me.
I was nearly crying by this point, unable to get out any words, but I pointed a shaky finger at the PetSmart embroidered onto my blue shirt. At that, she huffed loudly and yelled,
Ugh, I hate that place,
and stormed away. As I was waiting in line at the checkout, I could see her glaring at me from a short distance away, so I alerted the cashier to the situation and she had somebody come over to confront her. I don't know what happened after that, but I didn't see her again. I made it to my car safely and was able to return home. I told my coworkers about it the next day and we all had a good laugh about it, but in that moment, I was afraid for my safety. Some people can be so crazy. The lady's literally grabbing milk, trying to get it in her cart so she can take it home, and this lady's freaking out. She followed her from the office supplies. Like, I just don't understand. Let me set the scene. 4th of July afternoon, crazy packed supermarket, irate customer, and go. Me and my fiance were getting helped by one of the girls that worked at the supermarket. The place was crazy packed, but I could tell the girl was really doing her best to help everyone. She looked overwhelmed, but was gracious and helpful when we were asking where one of the rarer baking supplies was for a cake we were baking for 4th of July. The store was going to be closing in an hour, so I was just really pushing for her and mentally telling her to hold on. Suddenly, this old white lady came up behind us. She started asking the girl questions too, bursting into conversation and refusing to notice she had to wait in line to get help. When the store clerk asked her to wait a moment, the lady blurted out, I cannot believe the lack of service in this store. I demand you help me now. The store is crowded. It's a total mess in here. The young store clerk visibly shrank from the verbal tirade and sighed. She was trying her best and still getting yelled at. Maybe you shouldn't have waited till 4th of July afternoon then, I shot back at the crazy lady. If the store clerk couldn't say anything about this lady being a bitch, I would. If you hadn't noticed, there are a lot of customers in here that need help, lady. Wait your goddamn turn.
Excuse me? The lady spat at me. Do you work here? I'm going to report you to your manager for talking to me like that.
I smirked. Yes, I do. I've been working here for 6 months now. My name is Vamped Vixen, and my manager is in that office over there. I pointed to the clearly labeled manager's office. Go tell them about me and my rusty people skills. I don't care. I'm tired of dealing with customers like you. The lady bought it, sucking in air with a completely outraged look on her face. Then she told me she was going to do just that and stormed over to the manager's office. When she was gone, the store clerk ended up laughing, and my fiance was teasing me about how I was going to get fired from a store I didn't even work at. The store clerk then thanked me for standing up for her because she really wanted to say something similar to the customer but couldn't because she was working. I also let her know I was going to put in a good word with the manager on her behalf. I've never been able to stomach people treating workers like garbage. Just know. That's the best way you could handle that situation, I feel like. Wait your goddamn turn, lady. It's the 4th of July. You can't just walk into a grocery store and expect to be helped right away. It's the 4th of July, son. That bitch be packed. I know you don't work here, but I know where you work, so you'll have to help me. This was about 10 years ago, back when I still worked for Walt Disney World. I had gotten off work and was going to go out with my girlfriend at the time. It was our anniversary, so we wanted to have a nice couples meal. Since it was the middle of August in Orlando, Florida, it was hot AF, and so I decided I would go home, change into some clean clothes after a nice refreshing shower. However, I got a text from the girlfriend that she needed me to pick up a couple things. Being the kind of person who is not in the habit of upsetting my significant other, I made the detour to Walmart to pick up the requested items. However, as I didn't have a change of clothes on hand, I had to go in wearing the full uniform of a Tomorrowland Attractions cast member. I worked Space Mountain at the time, for those curious. Anyways, I am in the aisle getting some soda and trying to decide what brand to get myself when it happened. The lady tapped on my shoulder. Being the calm, rational human being I am, I froze, but mentally jumped out of my skin. I'm not a fan of being touched by strangers. Putting on my best smile, I turned around to see a lady looking right at me. Older lady, probably in her 50s, curly gray hair. Before I can even mutter, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I in your way?" the lady starts asking me where to find things. It's been 10 years, so I don't remember what it was, but I do remember I had no clue where to find it, so I just said those infamous words. "Sorry, ma'am, but I don't work here. You will need to find an employee." As soon as these words hit her ears, you can almost feel the smoke coming out of her ears as she grinds the gears in her brain, before her face changes to an angry scowl.
Well, I can't find one, and I thought you'd be willing to help me. I thought Disney only hired nice people.
I just shrug and grab my soda, toss it in the cart, and walk away, muttering, I'm not on the clock, not my problem. I said it more to myself than to her when she jumps in front of me to check out my name tag, which I had thankfully taken off before coming to the store. Cast members are allowed to wear their costumes, but forbidden to wear their name tags off property. Seeing no name tag, she just points her finger at me in an accusatory manner and spits out, "What's your name? I'm going to have a talk with your manager when I go to the parks tomorrow." I just look at her and finally drop the smile on my own face and reply with a deadpan expression, "None of your business, lady. Now leave me alone." At this point, the lady turns beet red and explodes in a shower of confetti. People start cheering and clapping. Obama was there. Okay, the last part is total BS, but it pretty much ended after I walked off. I didn't work for the next 2 days anyways, so I don't know if she actually went to the parks or not. Kinda anticlimactic, but I told some people I'd shared this since we were passing around some old stories, and somebody thought it belonged here. So this lady goes into Walmart. She asks this dude who works at Disney World how to find something. He doesn't want to help her find it. She then wants to get him fired from Disney World. What kind of sense is there in that? This lady's just straight bonkers. I'm not gonna lie, that last part caught me off guard a little bit too. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed these as much as I did. Don't forget Discord links in the bio. We'll see you all next time. Peace.